Hey, how's it going, YouTube? How's it going? Hi, how's it going, YouTube? How's it going, YouTube? Okay, let's jump right into what I want to talk about. I want to talk about emotional maturity and relationships. Emotional maturity and relationships, and how they kind of work together. Um, got my notepad because I was journaling a little bit and thinking about sort of things I could talk about for a YouTube video because I haven't made a video in a while. And by the way, let's get it out. The album's out, Trauma's out. Go listen to it. Okay, that's out of the way. Um, yeah, emotional maturity in relationships. Get to the point, Aiden. I think for the way I think about being emotionally mature, like for me, one of the most important things is learning to be honest with yourself. And what this might mean is you have to disappoint some people. You have to maybe let some people down. You know, I know of people, geez, I know of a lot of people right now in my life that aren't being honest with themselves. Either they're staying with people in relationships because they're not being honest with themselves, and a lot of times they're not being honest with themselves because they don't want to hurt the other person. Maybe they're scared of how the other person might react. Or honestly, maybe they're scared of that part of themselves. They're ashamed of that part of themselves. You know, an example, I think, would be, let's say you have a person and they're in a relationship, and this person is blinded by love, blinded by, let's say, a lot of the new exciting things that happen in a fresh relationship. And I'll let you use your imagination on what that might be, but let's say the people that are close to this person, you know, are seeing things about this new relationship, or seeing things, or the person they're in a relationship with actually does something to, let's say, hurt, you know, one of that person's friends. When you come to that person, a person who is emotionally mature and a person who is honest with themselves, when you tell them, hey, your partner, like, actually just said some really mean shit to me, they're gonna say, like, they're gonna be sorry about that. You know, you're their friend. They're gonna be sorry about that. They're gonna be honest with themselves and realize that this person they're with might not be perfect. Emotionally immature thing to do, I think, would be to go into denial, get mad at the friend because they're right. uh, and there's so many other things. You know, I've known people who are in relationships that are ending, and they're really trying to hold on to something they felt earlier in the relationship. And it still might be there a little bit. It might be it might still be like there, you know, but it's fading or it's gone completely. Let's say they love this person a lot, like really, really a lot, and given different circumstances, given people wanting similar things, they would spend the rest of their life with. Now, this person is mean, this person puts the other person down, this person is insecure. A person who's honest with themselves would say, listen, I'm probably not going to marry this person. We want different things. I'm not going to sit here anymore. Someone who's not being honest with themselves might sit around and say, oh man, I want to travel the world. I want to do this for work. I want to do that. But I know this person really wouldn't agree with it or want me to do that, or would prefer for me not to do that. All right, I'm breaking up with them. It's not going to work. So why sit here? Why continue to hope for it to work when you'll easily find another person who would maybe fit into your plan? And I think the first step to becoming emotionally mature is really, really being honest with yourself. Really, and what else did I write down here? I said taking accountability. Oh yeah, that's another thing. If we go back to the example I was giving about the new relationship, and let's say the partner does something wrong, and you've done something wrong, let's say you've hurt a friend. Simple. It doesn't matter. I don't need to make these so complicated. You've hurt a friend. Take accountability for it. Instead of throwing around other names, taking the blame off of yourself, you can take accountability for it. And there's a good chance that if you truly are being honest and are taking accountability for it, that person is going to be cool. If someone comes to you and says, listen, you did this thing, I didn't really like it, I'd like to talk about it. Take accountability. Jeez, man. It's going to make them feel better, and it's going to make your relationship stronger. Even if you have certain opinions on, I don't know if that's exactly what happened or whatever, the person felt it like that. And you're not going to change how people feel. If someone's hurt, they're hurt. And you hurt them. Even though even if you feel like you didn't mean to, that wasn't your intention, take accountability. Because you made that person feel bad. Trust me. It's going to make them happier, it's going to make you happier, and it's going to make the relationship stronger. What was the other point I talked about? Take accountability. Because guess what? We're all humans. We all make mistakes. We all, make mistakes. I have no problem. Me. I have no problem saying I've done things that have hurt other people emotionally. And I did them knowing that. I take accountability for that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and act like I've never been mean, or I've never, said something to someone that hurt their feelings. And I'm not going to deny that wasn't my intention. I made you feel bad. Hell, even if it wasn't my intention, I made you feel bad. Be sorry. Be sorry for the fact that you made someone feel bad and you didn't mean to. Because guess what? That allows you to understand that person more. That allows you to develop that relationship more. That allows you to... When these issues arise, there's two ways it could go. It could go into a stronger relationship, or it could go into resentment. You know what I mean? Don't go down the path of resentment. You fucked up. Take accountability. Own up to it. And depending on the severity, there might be resentment anyways. But let's not build more resentment because you're too much of a coward to own up to your wrongdoings. And then that took me into, the best time to work on this is now, right now. You know what I mean? As you get older in life, and the people around you mature, and the people around you grow up, the people around you have worked on themselves, they're not going to have time for someone who is emotionally immature. Like I can say that right now. I don't want to be friends with someone who's emotionally immature. Period. Like, and I'm not even 20 yet. I'm 19. You know, I'm 20 in a few months. Let's say I'm 20. Um, I I feel comfortable saying that I am working on this stuff now, and I don't want to be with someone who isn't working on it or isn't trying to better themselves. You know, there's a lot of times where I think about, do I really want this person in my life still? And a lot of the times, if you're even asking yourself that question, it's, you know, the answer's simple. No, man. Like, no, you don't. You don't need this person. You're wasting time thinking about them. You're wasting time thinking about whatever. I mean, I've distanced myself from people because I simply just don't feel good around them. And, you know, I think another point of emotional maturity, I'm realizing this isn't great lighting. I'm going to go inside. Another big point of emotional maturity is not holding things back, talking about them, which again, I've done so many times. Like, like, even now, there's things I'm not talking about with people because I'm too scared to talk about with them. Or I'm too scared of being judged, or I'm too scared of this or that. I think a big part of emotional maturity is that, well, you don't give a shit about that. You don't care how people are gonna look at you or see you or say about you, because you're putting yourself first. You're putting your happiness first, and you need to understand that someone else's misery can't affect you and shouldn't. And that's something you really got to work on, you know? And that takes me into um this, like, I lost my train of thought. You know, I wrote a bunch of stuff down because um when I do these videos, I go off tangent. I I forget what I'm saying. I forget my points, and sometimes it's cool to just freeball it, no script. But it's also really easy to break down a few points that you've been thinking about recently and just talk about them. But I think one of the biggest green flags is just that someone's working on themselves. You're putting in the work to be better. And, like, therapy is crucial. Therapy is crucial. And I don't care whatever type of therapy it is. Like I've worked through therapy workbooks. I've read mindfulness books. John Kabat-Zinn, he's got some great books. I've learned to meditate, learned how to regulate emotions. I've, you know what I mean? To me, those are ways of therapy that aren't the traditional therapy, which for some reason people feel so weird about. You know what I mean? Oh, I feel so, it's so, like, oh my God. Like, these fucking incel douchebag guys that, you know, I go to university with, and that I'm, you know, I guess friends with some of them. Probably not for too much longer, but, you know, oh, therapy's for pussies. Well, alright, then be miserable. Like, like, honestly. Like, what is wrong about talking through the things that you're feeling with someone who is licensed to help you through that? You know what I mean? Like, like we go to physical therapists and they help us redevelop injuries in physical parts of our bodies. What's different about going to someone who understands how the mind thinks, understands how the mind works, understands how certain situations can turn into certain ways of thinking, how certain belief systems can affect your happiness and cause anxiety and cause depression? And why is believing that why do people believe that um actually working on yourself mentally is such a bad thing, or such a taboo thing, or such a, oh, I'm weaker because I have to go to a therapist or something? I mean, the answer is plain and simple. It's insecurity. It's insecurity, but it's also they're not being honest with themselves. They're afraid to be honest with themselves. We're bringing it back to the first point. They're afraid to be honest with themselves. They're afraid that they're going to have to take accountability. Um, and they're in denial that they have made mistakes, you know? But we all make mistakes, and they need to understand that. And they're probably, like I said, the best time to work on it is now. The best time to work on it is yesterday, you know? Because, I mean, you want to have a happy life. Like, everyone wants to have a happy life. So how about we, like, work on it right now so we have more time to be happy? Because the clock's ticking, and, you know, you're clearly not getting happier. So let's take action. Let's fix that. Let's get on our feet. You know, let's not wallow. No more wallowing. That's also another thing of emotional maturity, is learning to just cut out the wallowing and self-pity. Okay, you're not happy about something about yourself? Work on it. Oh, I can't change it. Okay, learn to accept it. You know what I mean? Or guess what? You're not going to be happy. You'll just be miserable. But, yeah. Yep. I wouldn't say I'm completely emotionally mature. Like, I'm still young. I'm still working on this. But I think that the important thing is that you're working on it. You want to get better. If you want to get better, you will get better. You know what I mean? Um, if you think you're stupid and you truly believe you're stupid, well, I guess you're gonna be stupid because you're clearly thinking stupid things that you're stupid. You know what I mean? But if you think you're stupid for something that you did to someone, and you are reflecting on it, and you don't want to be like that in the future, then you're gonna put in the work to get better. I don't know. Don't put yourself down. Like, that's one thing I, got in the trap of. You know, even as jokes, even if you're not being serious, like, don't put yourself down, and don't put yourself down in front of other people. If you're gonna put yourself down in front of other people, well, those people might as well think that that's true, because, I mean, like I said, if you're saying, "Oh, I'm so stupid," like, okay, are you doing that for attention? Like, because my answer to that is, well, okay, maybe you are, for thinking that. Maybe, maybe, maybe you are that. So shut up and start, I don't know, working. I don't, yeah. I think I'm just, yeah. You guys got the point. Have a good day, and bye. See you around. Bye.